Nowadays, we all face a lot of communication barriers. The message intended by the sender is not understood by the receiver in the same terms and sense, and thus communication breakdown occurs. It is essential to deal and cope up with these communication barriers so as to ensure smooth and effective communication. As in the previous section, we have discussed the major barriers of communication. Let's talk about how to overcome these barriers of communication. Clarity and completeness. Speakers should be clear about objectives and what they want to convey. Arrange thoughts in a proper order, then communicate. Aimless talks can be misleading, so always try to show that there is an aim behind your talk. Systematic communication and clarity in thought get appreciated. So, clarity and completeness is the most important part to overcome the barriers. Next one is proper language of message. The message conveyed should be effective with desired goals and policies. Whenever you are replacing any old message instead of the new one, you should clearly mention about it and clear all the doubts. So that is proper language of message. Next one is focus on listening and avoid premature evaluation. To communicate effectively, one should be good listener. Superiors should develop the habit of patient listening. Avoid premature evaluation. Next is feedback from the receiver. This is the most polite and best way to have listener involved in conversation. This would help to have a better understanding of their aptitude and the interest of listener showing towards the subject. So feedback must be taken after given the message. Next one is avoid overloading too much of information. People would get bored if unnecessary and too much of information is given. So try to deliver the part which are useful and informative and valuable to the listener. There should not be any confusion left in the mind of the listener. So in this way, one can be avoid overloading information and gives the effective communication. Next one is reduce the level of noise as far as possible. Always make sure to speak and interact with someone where there is no noise or at least disturbance. Find the source of noise, remove it, and then start conversing. So that way your energy is going to also save, and what is the proper message which is given to the receiver, and also receiver is going to be decode that message, and then he can be give the proper feedback. So reduce the level of noise as far as possible. Communication chain should be short. Avoid using the mediator or send the message through the third person. Try to directly communicate with the person concerned. The risk of distortion of the facts gets more if message is passed through the third party. If there are more people in between the sender and receiver, the chances of filtering of the message is double. So directly communicate to the concerned person. And last one is keep anger in control. Do not be aggressive if you do not agree with any point of view that is against your ideology. State your thoughts politely with facts if you have, and reflect positivity in your talk and nature. So in this way, you can be overcome all the barriers, and whatever there is a message by sender, it can be reached properly to the receiver, and the receiver is going to be actively participate in the communication process and understanding that message properly, that listener can be give the feedback.